Let the man begin. It is your boy Mayhem Mike, and they gave me the button. That's right. It's Mr. Button himself, and I cannot wait. But first of all, I need to tell you guys that we are here. And that's it. I mean, the normal slogan goes, we are here, we're queer, we're not going anywhere. But happy Pride Month. I can't necessarily say that, but I support all my brothers and sisters and non-label genders in arms and legs, in hugs, and whatever. I'm happy to announce that I today got a compliment. But it doesn't matter. Let me bring my family of trolls with me. Of course, the most confusing troll, black from the waist down, Burgivine.
How are you doing, sir?
Oh, hold on. I gotta get a thing on that. Oh, that's a sexy cup.
It's tough being me.
It's tough being you. Hey, Jess, what's up? Isn't that from the merch store?
And that is from the merch store. This is a gift from Nicole and Katerina. Kat said she wanted to see a picture of me drinking it, so I figured I'd bring it live on TV.
Fair enough. That is a real life depiction of Bergie's legs. I've seen it myself.
I don't know. My legs are a little whiter than that right now. I don't know about that. I don't look that hairy.
Not when you're in our imaginations, baby. Anyway, next up, of course, the glue holding us together by threads. Katerina, Lady Sid, and I.
That's stringy glue.
Of course.
Hello and happy Legit de Piquois month. Thank you so much for using that mug. I'm kind of annoyed that you have the mug and I don't have mine because it's over there too. I'll be picking that up next weekend and that's going to be my official mug. But for now, we're going to make it all gay every day.
I hear that. And of course, the guy who brings us all together, my rival. I mean, it's just me, but this guy over here.
I mean, I just let you choose to be my rival. It's like Rock Lee and Naruto. You're Rock Lee. It's like, you're my greatest rival. And I'm like, who are you?
Oh, Thanos and Scarlet Witch.
Listen, yeah.
I don't even know who you are.
Once
Or
again.
in Bison and Chun-Li. The day Bison graced your village was a day that you'll never forget. For me, it was a Tuesday.
A little bit of shit.
He's been holding on to that forever to use it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was way too good.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed. He had the pause.
You've been practicing that in the shower. You can tell.
No, why do
you like, what? We're going to do a villains episode,
like,
and I'm going to break that sucker
out. It's like it came out of that movie. What was that? Hackers? Mess with the best, die with the rest? How many days did you spend? Did you watch that movie recently?
You never heard of me? King of 9X? You never heard of me?
No,
I love that movie. It's still one of my all-time favorite movies.
Fair enough.
Off the cuff, right here. Off the cuff, right here. Always.
He doesn't have a cuff. You have on a hoodie.
He has a script down there. Don't let him fool you.
Word. He wrote it down.
The cuff of his jeans.
Apple bottom jeans. Listen, once again, happy Pride Month. We always celebrate each and every person, whether it be black, brown, whatever you identify as. It's always great to have everybody here check in as we're nerds, geeks. I just want to say that Reggie needs to come on the show and show us his fabulous side when Mia does the makeup, because I think I think that would be a pretty good episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think so too. I've done it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm passing the torch.
It's true.
Mayhem had a whole post of him in every color.
Yeah.
You shared it in the group.
This is, let me bring that picture up.
I mean, it was weird. It looked like
this wasn't
Bugs
about
Bunny,
me,
but it worked.
This wasn't.
It was during No Shave November.
Once again, this isn't about me, but okay.
It's always about Mayhem.
No, it's not.
Somehow it just circles back. That's all. It
okay.
just circles back. That's
Just
all.
gets there.
Sometimes I feel bad.
See, and here's Mayhem in all his glory.
Yeah. Listen. If you've seen the episode, if you've been rocking with us that long, Lady Sid and I knocked it on the head with that one. I gotta find that clip. That's a clip I gotta keep for days. Yeah, 100%. and I'm fully comfortable with who I am and who I'm playing. So pick.
You know,
me
it's
up.
you look at this too, and you just like, damn, Chef's kiss
Yes.
for Bugs Bunny. Man, he
Yes.
made every outfit he wore fantastic.
That is true. That is.
Ain't nothing bad that the man ever
He knew
wore.
his good angles.
Yo,
for
yeah.
sure.
He knew his good camera angles. No.
Yeah.
filter. Oh my god.
He's an Instagram model before an Instagram model was a model.
Right?
The original influencer.
Yep. For real.
He put on a bunch of hats and clothes, man. That was amazing. All right, so today we're picking up. This is part 2 of our episode for best villains and was it worst villains? Best and worst villains.
Hi, Jess. Hi, Jacob.
Worst and best. Yes.
What up,
Worst and
Paul?
best. That's right. So we did last week. We did worst. We had some really great selections. I'm not gonna lie. And now we're gonna do best. Now, to make things fun, you three are gonna have to choose who goes first, but not in a diplomatic way, in a gladiatorial way. Okay.
Oh.
I'm thinking of a number 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
1 to 3. Because
Wow, you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting it. Look out, 2.
Okay, 2. Okay,
We'll go with
Virgie.
1.
Okay.
I guess I'll take 3.
Okay, it was 2. It was 2, 100%. So first up, Reginald. Whew. And then, of course, we'll do the next 2 between you two, and I go last.
Are we sure
fair.
we want me to go first?
Virgie
again?
can go next.
Virgie can go next. Okay.
What up? What up, Ray?
What up, Ray?
Ray
All
says,
right.
"Hi, Daddy."
Listen, he's got the. Let him cook. He's got. His
Put
cup
your
today.
mug up for the people who are just
Oh,
joining
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me see,
show-
let me
show
get
him
that
what
up.
you're drinking
There
out
you
of.
go. There you
It's
go.
my new mug from our merchandise line. Thank you for the gift from Kat and Nicole.
Mia.
So this is Big Daddy
Anytime.
Bergie.
We need.
I
a
wish I
cup.
looked this
The
good.
world needs to see more of that.
Same pose, maybe, right? Different background, a robe, and a cigar. Just saying.
I mean, why are you asking me? Why don't we just ask the man himself? I'm sure he's got robes and stogies.
I definitely have a robe somewhere. I don't know if I want to wear it.
Well, we got you.
Yeah.
Reggie, come on. Tell us what you got working in that kitchen over there.
All right,
Let us
so-
know what your best villains are.
Number 3 on
Mhm.
my best villains, because granted, the trilogy didn't work out the way we wanted to. We talked about that because the opposite end of the spectrum was talked about a week ago.
Mm.
And of course, I have to go with my number 3. best
Cat's
friend
face says
villain.
it all for us. What?
Like, where's this going?
Where is it going? Okay, the Beast.
The
Okay.
Beast. Just in general, like all of them together are good villains, but just because you think this person can't really be doing this, and then you watch this man scale a room and eat people, and it's like, bro, what are you even?
On top of
Shout out to
everyone.
Magic before she was Magic.
Right? And it's just like he literally becomes this, and it's just like, what? Because I was thinking, oh, the Beast is a real, and then I watched that scene where he becomes the Beast, and it's like,
Mhm.
hold up a second, what are you doing really? And he literally has this personality in him that unlocks all his power, all his phenomenal abilities, and it's quite terrifying because it doesn't give a flying fuck about anyone.
He was
It will
called.
break you, it will kill you, it will eat you.
He was called the Beast in that film Split, and then he was called the Horde in Glass because it was more of him. And then what was his name? Kevin something Crumb. Remember that?
Yes.
So I say all that to say I think the actor James McAvoy.
Mhm.
I think if you ask me, he outshone the character. He brought the character to life. If you saw this movie, the acting was so amazing.
He's
But
great
I
in
think-
everything he does anyway.
Fair
Right.
enough. I'll give you that. Fair enough. I definitely put him up there with Leo and them. I think he outshone the actual character, in my opinion. Now that I think about it, and I think this is a great choice. Don't get me wrong, Reggie. I just think that he went above and beyond and outshone the actual character.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Tom says he does not agree. He says he could not sit through this movie.
Really?
Yes.
I turned it off after 10 minutes. What? What?
He
His
did better
acting
than me,
alone-
Tom. I never even watched a second
Ray.
of it.
Yeah, man, this was a great movie. I think
Well,
I'll tell you to
nothing
revisit.
against. There's just so much out there that
Okay.
things like get in front of my face and then go out of my memory just in the swarm of everything that's out at that time. So I want to see it as a trilogy now that, well, I don't want to say now. I learned a while ago that it was like a trilogy, but when it first
Yeah.
came out, I don't think I knew that. But now that I
Yeah.
do, because I've seen the other two, I might as well watch this one as well. It's one of those things that I just keep on forgetting about and never get around to watching because there's just, again, so
Fair
much
enough.
out there.
I don't think we all knew when it first came out it was a trilogy until like I think there was a scene at the end, a cut end credit scene or
That's
something.
that they were
Yes.
all tied together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you at the end of this one, you saw spoiler alert from 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
I don't think that counts. as a spoiler alert at this
You
point.
see Bruce Willis' character from Unbreakable at the end of the movie. And it's the actual it's an actual end credit scene. You had to sit through the mid credit scene, all the credits, and then you got to
Yeah.
see Bruce Willis sitting at the diner.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so fair
So
enough.
it was like a surprise. Hey,
Yeah.
this is actually a trilogy.
Exactly.
All right, I think I like this one. I would normally take points off only because I really feel like the actor was better than the actual villain. But you know what? It all comes together, sir. I think so far you're starting off strong.
Okay.
Me
I
personally.
appreciate that. All right, and then my second one is a
You know, I like the ending of Glass. I'm not gonna lie to you because I don't think he's ever gonna revisit this universe, but the way they projected it was so much bigger than just these superheroes. If you ask me, it was so much more interesting. You know, it's like finding out that superheroes have an insurance company that cleans up after the city after the fights. Well, they don't. The city does pretty much, and some of them become villains. That's more amazing than sometimes than the Hulk beating up on, I don't know, the Thing. You know, that's just me personally.
right? Because for regular Joes, they don't care about that. They're like, oh, what of mine are they going to break today?
So you would say it'd be like more realistic, like if it was like real world heroes and villains as
Remember
opposed
the
to
memes
like
after
the DC Marvel
Avengers?
stuff.
Remember the memes where the guy was like, "Hey, I can't come into
Yeah.
work. The Hulk just fell on my car." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then the insurance company like, "Oh my god," you know, like, come on.
There was a very short-lived TV show about that with Alan Tudyk.
That was for DC.
Right, but it was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the cleanup crew.
Supers
and
or something, I think they're called.
I think
Yeah.
it was something less, like super less or powerless.
Yeah, and he was Bruce Wayne's cousin or something that was trying to make all these
It
stuff
was a
to help
decent
people.
show, but they were like inventing things to help the everyday person survive in a city with superheroes, like umbrellas that can, that concrete would bounce off of when they're like
I mean, that makes
two
sense.
superheroes are flying around and bashing into buildings, to
But it was only good for
debris.
one use.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the take.
Well, that
on
was
it.
part of the thing. Like they were
Oh.
trying, but everything they made was like they missed it by that much.
Monkey's paw.
Yeah.
basically, yeah,
Listen, I got a phone that could take a picture of the moon, so there's that.
right.
But
In
I have
the
horrible service. Let's not talk about that. Anyway,
But somehow can't
5G
text
does
groups,
not exist.
But can't
Sorry.
text a group in for an iPhone, right?
Oh my god, they hate me so much.
Yeah, green bubble. Yeah.
Let me just
Get
say
over
this.
it.
Let me just say this, okay?
Get over the green bubble.
I know I look young, and especially if I cut my hair and shave my beard off, I probably look baby face. I grew up on beepers. You could not respond back.
Do you
Then we
realize
had-
that you're in a group with people that are like
I'm talking for
much
them.
older than you?
I'm talking for them, okay?
Bro, I had a
and
beeper
I brought
too.
it up, so I'm making it a me thing. But I hear you.
I
I
had
will
SkyTel.
include you.
All right.
You had what?
Did you get the one that came with the Sir Mix-a-Lot tape though?
No, I didn't have that one. SkyTel was one where you could actually save messages to it, and you could actually have pre-programmed messages and stuff in it.
So
I had one of those.
we all
old.
grew up on a screen that was either yellow or gray and black lettering. We
Do
don't.
you remember when
care
you
about
had to
text.
call into the beeper company and give them
Yes.
an audio message, and then it would show up as actual text on the person getting the beep?
That was SkyTel.
That was
SkyTel was like
SkyTel.
that.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, that
So,
was
Yeah.
that's Pepperidge Farm days. Okay,
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
We
Okay?
remember.
Talk about AIM. They were the first ones to create it. Reggie, I'm sorry. Let's go for your second one. We're
I
going
know.
on a tangent.
And
We're going
on
on a tangent.
15 minutes in, number 2, Reg.
All right,
We're
number
on time.
2 is a villain that I've liked since the first game that I played, that I fought him in. And he's just one of those villains that every time you see him in any type of media, he's there to kick your ass. And he's not an easy fight. You're going to cry. You're going to whine. You may break a controller. With that said, If you know this movie, you know who's about to pop up. And also, he can possess anybody that has gone through the same treatment as him. Fun fact. Because that, of course, is none other than that man there.
Oh, Sephiroth.
Sephiroth!
Okay. Can I just say?
Wait, look at him. He's like, oh, hey, you thought you had something. Nah.
Can you say it again? Could you announce who it was again, please?
Oh, I said this man's name is Sephiroth.
Yeah, it's like he hit puberty mid
Sephiroth.
Was it Bobby Brady when he's trying to
I thought it was so cringy. We're all looking like teenagers. Potato Head.
God.
I hear that. listen, Sephiroth. Okay. So here's a hot take. I never fully completed Final Fantasy VII. I played all the other ones on emulators, and for some reason, I never beat 7. I beat 8, 9, 10, 11. Shout out to Titus. 7 for me was just meh. However, watching other people play Sephiroth, I was like, fuck that shit. Okay. And also, he killed that girl. I forgot her name. Why didn't they use a Phoenix Down on her? Why? Like, I don't.
In lore, a Phoenix Down only revives you from being knocked out, not dead. So when your party goes down to 0 HP,
otherwise.
No,
Peter Brady, not Bobby Brady.
HP, they're knocked out.
Sorry.
If all of you go to 0, they're dead because there's no one there to save them.
This game is stupid now that I think about
That's
it.
all RPGs.
I'm going back to Chrono Trigger. Fuck that shit. Chrono Cross.
It's the same in Chrono Trigger.
Hey, you got me beat. I'd never played a Final Fantasy game ever.
Me neither. But I hear the 7th one is the best one.
Arguably.
I know.
I think it's
Final
just
Fantasy X a good one too that I know.
Yes, that's what I was
going
gonna
to
say. Because look, I think 7 was like a really good turning point. You know, new graphics and everything, but like story wise, and even the ending, what happened to Titus was kind of fucked up. Okay, and 11. I mean, okay, but I will say this: the stupid water soccer thing with Waka, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Come on. Y'all couldn't find something else?
I'm not trying to belittle it, but that was kind of like Quidditch in a way. Like they made their own game up that just made no fucking sense. Like,
Quidditch makes perfect sense.
I use that book.
Yep.
Use that back in the day. I don't need to wrap.
We'll save that for another episode.
1-800 collect. Oh, okay. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That could be a good episode one day. You know, games that made no sense.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That can go on for a while.
Right.
Listen, I don't stand J.K. Rowling. We all know this. However, Quidditch makes sense.
If you say so, ma'am. If you say
the way they explain it, I don't know how everybody. Okay, what doesn't make sense is how come you have magic that you can literally transform into other people, but you can't fix your eyesight?
Right.
There are rules. Okay.
There are rules that were
we can go over all of this on that episode. Reggie, what's number 3?
Okay. Sephiroth.
Number 2 is Sephiroth because Sephiroth is him. That's all there is to it. Sephiroth is him. And if you fought him in any game in any incarnation, you know that it's done for you. And so my number 1. As soon as I bring this up, you're gonna know what it is.
Mr. Tree.
What?
I'm sorry. Please continue, sir. I'm sorry.
This man losing it.
Keep going.
All right. So number 1, this is one I'm surprised all of us didn't pick. Surprisingly, only 2 of us picked it. I'll go quick because I'm gonna give the other person their time to shine on this character. I'm just gonna play the clip and go from there.
I feel like it's a me and Bridgie thing. Who was it? Was it any of the mobsters or was it the actual?
Yes, it was Michael Jai White.
Okay.
So I guess we've just established who the other person is.
Was it though?
Was it though? Like seriously, this man walked into this room like, check this out. I'm going to lead all of you to the promised land, and oh no, magic trick
disappeared.
Like, and they're like, okay.
That dude's like, yeah, it was a good trick. I liked it.
What do you got with cards?
Michael Jai White.
So Michael Jai White was the best villain, or was it Heath Ledger?
You have to ask that.
I'm asking to be funny. Okay, so I have to.
Lost.
Okay, that's fine. I'll lose, but I got to take points off for you.
Oh yeah.
Here's
Take
why.
one.
Because we agreed non-popular villains.
No, we did not.
Yes, we
didn't.
did. Cat, am I bugging?
No.
I don't.
Yes.
We said non-pop because we didn't want to go over things that people would constantly think and pick. Remember?
I think that was just like personal choice as opposed to
That's
a rule
what
for
I'm
the
thinking.
episode.
Right.
It was like I said that I knew that I was.
And
Well, I think what it was is like let's try to pick less popular, like more obscure ones that people may not know. But it was like up to you to decide for yourself if you wanted to do that or
y'all
not.
set
Mhm,
me up.
Ain't nobody up.
Either
You-
way,
You came up with the terms of this.
I
You
literally
did not
said it,
mention
and
it.
you all
No,
guys
we
said yes.
verbally discussed it, and that did come up.
You know
but
what
I
that's
don't
like?
think it was ever like put in.
Wow.
You have
Ladies
to
and
pick this,
gentlemen,
but it can't
I
be
want
anyone.
you to take notice of all three characters here in these boxes and understand that if you don't get a resounding yes from them,
What is that
it
thing
doesn't
if you
mean
meet
agree.
one asshole, then they're the asshole, but if everyone you meet is an asshole?
Asshole and
So anyway, they set me up. Okay. Either way, fine. I won't take
They'll
points.
set up.
Great pick. I still believe Heath Ledger was the best Joker iteration of all time. Yes, Jack Nicholson did his thing, but much like Dr. J, Michael Jordan outshined him and changed the game of basketball. Heath Ledger changed the game of a villain to the point where they're making movies about villains. To the point where you watch that movie and you forgot it was about Batman. Christian Bale, who? Oh yeah, that's right. We got Batman. Nobody cared for him like that. We wanted to see what the Joker was doing during that movie.
Well, also by this time, his voice was so much of a caricature that you couldn't take him seriously, and
It
that
was
made
used in
He's got
It-
to
it was
grab
just-
him. Oh.
it just got like more and more, and it just became too much.
Jay,
You guys
what
have
is it?
seen the College Humor
And
skit
we're
with
moving, and
Batman?
we're moving.
I
with
was
We're not,
sweaty,
J-Bo. We're not
and I
moving.
was soaking in my juices all day.
I'm sorry, Bridget. You were saying seeing the what?
The College Humor thing where it's Batman and the Joker, and then Batman smacks the Joker in the head, and he's like, and he starts making fun of him. He's like, "This is why you don't get anything out of the villains. You just beat them to death. They're concussed." Such a funny College Humor one.
Ledger is tied with Mark Hamill. Okay, I would give you that. Only that Mark Hamill is more the voice. I don't know if I
Oh,
can see
God, the
Mark
voice
Hamill.
is
Yeah, the
perfect.
voice, 100%.
Yes.
There's nobody else that can replace Mark Hamill ever. as
There
the
was
voice.
somebody else that did the voice of the animated cartoon series other than
Who,
Mark
J-Bo?
Hamill, and they did the first episode with them. And I watched it. It was weird and creepy, but then you hear Hamill do it, and it's perfection.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? One day we should go over different Mark Hamill Joker iterations and just clips, just real quick clips. Because I got one I think nobody remembers, and I think it was amazing. His character.
Like an audio?
Yeah, an audio and visual clip. I think it's 15 seconds, so we won't get copyrighted to an extent. So I think we can do it. But we'll go over that. All right. So
I do have one honorable mention.
Okay.
because
Please go.
I had to quote it. It's funny because I didn't even think about it, but then I quoted it and y'all made fun of me for it. So here we go. Here's the scene and here's the villain. Enjoy.
this was the worst movie.
True. Movie is bad, but Brown Julia.
I think this is
Oh,
like the
Ming-Na
same
Wen.
as my Paul Rubens in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's so
Yes.
campy. It's so terrible that it's amazing. And he puts his whole spirit into it, which
Yes,
makes it
and that's-
great.
Why
and
did he
Brown
have
Julia
on
did
metal
this
shoulder
for his
pads?
kids, and they're like Street Fighter. We love it, and that's why he went so hard. And he knew
Okay.
he had the cancer, and he's like, "I'm gonna do the best I can." And that's why this is literally the saving grace of this movie.
Look
is
at this
man
legend right here.
I mean, I
This-
will admit this movie is trash, but he probably did the best job with
Yes.
his acting. He actually
Okay.
took it serious. The rest
How
of
are you
them
gonna
were
say
just-
that right in front of Ming-Na Wen like that?
Come
And,
on, at the time,
and shout out to
she
Ming Na Wen.
She said at
Why
the
does she look
time
the same
he had
today
he had a
as she did
disclosure.
back then?
He had a fine print. Bergie, Tom said it was the guy who also played Bender on Futurama. I don't. That guy's voice is
John
amazing.
DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio. Yes, that was it.
Oh,
Yes,
he's the
the
guy that. Okay, yes.
He did a version of it. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, but it's weird and creepy and just, I don't know, it's not right. But then you hear Hamill do the same lines and it is perfection.
I think he was on. Joe DiMaggio was on the Red Hood one, and that was pretty good. That was pretty good. That's the end of the scene where it's the Joker's in the closet and he's like, hey, it's you, the boy wonder. Oh, let's get the crowbar and make it a family picture because he killed Jason Todd earlier.
Yes.
So, Reggie, those were great picks. Thank you very much for
okay,
sharing them with us.
I'm so sorry.
Wow, apparently I'm making people's eyes bleed.
Dang, J-Bo.
Damn.
J-Bo is just coming out swinging today. What did we do?
J-Bo and Tom, they're
He
both
does.
like, ah,
He's
all
grumpy.
this.
He's grumpy.
We talked
All
about
right.
villains. All of a sudden, they came for a fight.
This is
Right?
how J-Bo's
They
villain
came-
J-Bo's
story.
out for blood today.
This is how J-Bo's villain arc story starts. Like,
I think it started
First he
earlier
was
in
a
the
troll.
episode.
we love you, J-Bo. All right, Virgie, you're up next because
Mine's up next. All right,
awarded
so we'll start off with my number 3.
I hope I have your number 3 in order.
Yeah,
I always put them in the order that you send them to me in. All right, hold on. Whoops. Don't look at that. That's nothing. Don't worry about that.
This is a cup I stole from a baby shower that was doing the theme.
I
Of...
thought he was gonna say a cup I stole from a baby.
I mean,
Wow.
His
I
little
mean, it was from a
daughter's
baby
running around the
shower,
house.
so same thing.
Daughter's running around the house trying to find her cup.
the
Gassing out of it.
man knows no honor. Like,
I feel
Game
like
of Thrones.
Jordan would absolutely not allow him to have that cup if it wasn't something that she was explicitly okay with.
Facts. I'm gonna call the
Ready,
heckler.
Bergeron?
Gotcha.
The
I am
heckler.
ready whenever you are, good sir.
J-Bo, we're gonna put that on your badge.
Virgie,
Right?
I think this is you.
This is me. So this was my the number 3 villain for me, and because of the movie when this first came out, in the first movie for Terminator, basically.
No.
I'm
computer,
sorry.
what are you doing?
I saw that. I heard that in Mike Myers, Austin Powers, fat bastard's voice. I stole this from my baby.
I feel like
I'm a baby.
I
There
feel
you
like
go, that's
this is a very good villain, but I also have to say, can we get that one as a merch thing for Mayhem? I stole this from a baby.
With his own mug.
I stole it from a baby.
Okay.
So
you know
so
what? You
with
got
this
a
one,
point.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was, coming off the movies that he was doing at the time, Cameron went to him and was basically like, hey, I want to make you Reese. And he was going to be John Reese,
Yeah.
but he didn't want the role. He wanted the role of the Terminator. And, Cameron said to him, he's like, it's the bad guy, right? And he's like, yeah, I know. I want this. This is what I want. So he made this his own role. And if you think about it, you look back on the first Terminator, this was the best villain in the way. Because at the time in the 80s, we didn't have anything like this.
That first movie was terrifying to me. I don't remember how old I was when it came out, but I was sincerely scared shitless of this dude because he was
Yeah.
relentless.
And you
Relentless,
saw-
and there was no reasoning with him.
No.
I
And
don't
you
know.
did see him, and you
Mhm.
saw the way he was and the size of that guy. And man, back then, Arnold was cut, strong as
Yeah.
hell and everything. And he put on that jacket and he walked in. He looked totally badass. This is a dude that frightened everybody. He was unstoppable. And he only used regular guns and weapons, really. He didn't use all the crazy stuff that come in future and all the different armors and stuff like that. This man was a walking, nightmare in a way
Yeah.
back then.
I think I do agree with you to a certain extent, Virgie, that Arnold Schwarzenegger, was he T-100? Was he the 100?
T-800.
T-800, excuse me. Was the impact of it was amazing. But the T-1000 with Robert Patrick?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that man was in shape. He outran that bicycle
He
scene.
still is.
He still is? I didn't know that. So
Mhm.
I don't know. That was scary. This man could pretend to be anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I think they make the first 2 movies were oh my god. Arnold was so swole. Damn,
Arnold
you see
was
that
a-
bigness? You see that? He's a bear.
Arnold was a big boy, man, back then. Come on, look at the movies he did back then. He came off a Predator. If anybody,
Mando.
seen
oh
that.
my god, that bicep scene.
Yeah, with him and Carl Weathers.
Weathers.
Carl
Mhm.
Weathers can't do that now, but back then he could. You had Predator with him in it. You had Commando.
How a machine would move. I
And
hate
all
you.
the different movies he came out with. He was the action star, blockbuster. So if he was in a movie back then, it was guaranteed to be a box office hit. And this is why I just love this movie, because Terminator still, even to this day, you watch it and this guy is great.
The toaster.
I was not scared of the toaster. But hand to God, whenever I turned the light off in my bedroom, I was scared that I would see red glowing eyes like appear in a corner or out of my closet or outside of my window. So
me,
no, I wasn't afraid of my toaster.
I don't care. You're somewhere and you see a red
was
light turn on like
Transformers.
that. You always thought about that. You're like, is that Terminator?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm telling you, like I said, I don't remember how old I was when I first watched this movie, but I know I was like
Too young.
I don't know, maybe somewhere between 8 and 11, something like that. But whatever it was, petrified me.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, you win. Skynet has nothing on Chat GPT. The real villain. Okay.
I'm sorry. I liked what Crandall said earlier. Was Kathleen Kennedy was the villain?
That's right.
So this is my number 3 villain, basically, because I just think the character, what he was, and what he did in the movie, and the future depended on him. Basically killing one kid. Or back then was the mother. Yeah. Before the kid was born. So this was I thought he was a good villain. He was my number 3 choice.
Fantastic.
Yeah. My number 2 choice is
God, the 80s. Okay.
Sorry, I went with some popular villains. My bad. But
I don't know who that is.
William Dafoe.
They drew him a little differently. They drew
Michael Bergevine. I was trying to help you.
I know you were. I'm sorry, but you all right. William Dafoe to me is any movie this man does. He's frightening and scary as all fucking hell in it.
Yes,
like this man can do a drama role and he's scary. He does comedy. I'm scared shitless because that smile and that laugh that he does. Mm-hmm. The dude is he's a personification of an ultimate like villain in everything he does. And I bet you money he's probably one of the nicest guys in Hollywood.
But even that fan art they did of him as the Joker, remember?
Tell me, I want him as
that
the Joker.
Was
I really do.
Frightening.
Yes,
it was terrifying.
I really do want him. I want him as a Joker so he can go down in history as two of the best villains in each Marvel and DC because I think he would do it.
I think he would too. I think he'd be open to it.
And the fact that the way we got him in the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and the way he was, I didn't really care for the costume as much because they went more like it was more of an Iron Man suit in a way that they did that. But I get what they did with the technology. You couldn't have a rubber mask on him. It's probably what it was. I liked him on the glider and everything. Fantastic. He did a great job.
Yes.
When it was rumored that he might be in the new Spider-Man movie, I was like, I am praying to God he's going to do a dark Green Goblin. And this man did not disappoint.
No.
And the fact that he did those stunts himself, that entire fight scene through the building, he did as much of that as he could. He's like,
and within that, you had so much empathy for him and then went right back to I don't want to use the word hating him, but your emotions were all over the place for him throughout that film. He's a master at what he does.
The nice thing is you watch this movie and the last movie he was in with Tom Holland, he was in that apartment and you could see the look on that man's face, the eyes, the way he just turned from being the nice kind of senile old man to the psychotic, I'm going to kill everybody in the room. And he was like, that spider sense of yours. And it was just like, oh shit, he went Green Goblin. He went psycho Green Goblin. That to me was something that it's legend. He, in my opinion, is one of the greatest villains of all time.
Absolutely.
And he does an amazing job on TV. I don't think there's another person that's going to be able to top his Green Goblin if they ever do make another Green Goblin.
Fair enough.
It's just not going to happen.
I think about the first movie when he was in Spider-Man and he was the Green Goblin in the elevator scene where he switches from the Green Goblin back to Norman Osborn. That whole elevator scene and the whole facial transformation was amazing. Mm-hmm. I used to also get him confused with Dennis Leary.
Yeah. I can see
visually,
that.
I could see that. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Dennis Leary, I think, had a popular show afterwards called Rescue Me. And I was like, ain't that the guy from Spider-Man?
Fantastic TV series.
One's a redhead and one's a Green Goblin.
So. Hey, they changed their hair. I'm just saying.
But to go off what Mayhem said, he had that similar thing here where he was talking the way he seemed all innocent when they found him in the garbage and they didn't know who he was and they were trying to bring him to. Aunt May and stuff like that. And he had that, I'm innocent. He seemed like he had a split personality.
Well, he does. That was Norman. Norman was confused as all get out. The Goblin's like, we got to do some stuff. And Norman's like, no. We can't do that.
Yeah. And I just say this guy on TV screen, if he didn't bring this as a good villain, people would be laughing at the Spider-Man movies and stuff like, dude,
Oh,
this guy's a joke. He wasn't doing it right. If they had picked a different actor, it might not have brought the bravity to this role. It would have been horrible, you know?
I'm going to time you out, Tom, because that was uncalled for. True, but uncalled for.
He's not wrong, but he's out of pocket.
I feel like that's the scene from the Captain America.
Mhm.
And you ain't wrong.
But he's out of line.
He's out of line. So this is my number 2 villain, and we will go with my number 1.
Drum roll.
Surprise.
Shocking, I tell you.
This is why I said non-popular. But
well, I must have missed that in the read of the email that was
all
in the chat group.
You're all fine.
I only scanned it. I scanned the title, and that was it. I didn't read it.
Yeah, I saw best villains and worst villains. I went, cool, gotcha. Down, let's go.
Done.
But also, you think about this. This man was so disturbed because of this role. And that's the reason they said he took his own life, was because of this role made him this way, because he really embodied this character. And he was on set that just did this. And you see the way he played this role throughout the movie was absolutely incredible. And he personified the Joker that we see from the comics and some of the darker storylines and the way he was in this movie. He didn't give two shits about anything. He just wanted to watch the world burn. And that to me was a fascinating villain because of what he wanted. Like, he took all that money, he burned it. For what? For no reason. Just because he could. Because he could. And he wanted the bat. Like, he needed the bat just as much as I think the bat needed him in a way in that movie. And he was played just an amazing villain. I think he's hands down the best Joker to our day. And I know Phoenix here is doing a great job with it, but I'm sorry, he's still not Heath Ledger. The way it is, I love how he sat there and talks about the scars on his mouth. Like, we don't know how the Joker ever got those scars. It's never been told, and we came close with it here. You know, it's fantastic what he did with this role.
I just want to add on.
And another fun fact: the journal or diary that you see the Joker like reading and writing in, Heath wrote that entire thing by himself.
Yep.
Like, and you and like when they show you see the scribbles and the writing going every which direction. You see him pull it out, and he's like, "Let's add some more." And you're like, "Bro, what?" He wrote that. He's like, here's a prop. I'm gonna use this. And they're like, "You wrote this?" He's like, "Yeah, I wrote it for the character." Okay.
Yeah, he did do that. He even made some improv scenes. I think the hospital scene, which everybody knows, when it didn't go off on time, the kidnapping of the police officer, and he had like the video camera he sent in, those tapes he improv'd. You know what I'm saying? So this man was a talented actor, gone way too soon, and honestly, he did his thing. Sure.
And the nice thing about that is like that scene too, where he was sitting there in the police officer and he's just sitting there like nonchalant right here. Like, just to look at this. This man is perfection as the role of the Joker. And he looks like a man that's disturbed, but has it all together at the same time. That makes him the ultimate villain. You don't know what he's going to do at all. And the way he looked in this, he was just like, well, let's see how this plays out. Like, he knew he was screwed. Didn't care.
Also, remember, he also knew he had his dude down in lockup, the bomb in his belly.
Yep.
So he was just waiting.
Yep.
So, let's see how we do this.
Yeah, and I liked it when he like the knife when he did his hair and flipped it like that. Just the mannerisms and the little idiosyncrasies that he did in this role that made it so unique. And to me, it just stands the test of time. This will definitely be one of the best Jokers of all time.
Fair enough. Very good. Very good. Very good choice.
I did have 2 honorable mentions. Did you grab them?
Did I
get them to you in time?
I did. Let me go double check.
I stole this from a baby. I'm sorry. Watch Aaron Eckhart talk about acting with him and how he would improv and always stay in character. That's amazing. He also directed the scenes with the tape he sent in with the hostages. He also directed?
Oh, damn.
Shit. Man was a genius.
I did not know that part.
I didn't know that either.
That's incredible. I liked him in other movies that he did. 10 Things I Hate About You. Like, he did some great roles, great stuff with everything that he did. He was a great actor.
The biggest tragedy for me is that The Tumbler Batmobile doesn't turn; it just goes back and forth. Like, come on, man! Like, I wanted that car, okay, or military vehicle. 10%. Why do we owe Tom 10%?
I don't know.
Because your
Because she
future,
stole it from a baby.
you stole from a baby.
But it was my idea to put it on the merch.
Yeah.
Looks like you're getting 5. Looks like you're
Cat
getting 5.
has spoken. A couple of my honorable mentions for villains wise was Voldemort.
Okay.
I personally like the way that wrote about him in the book more. I refuse to say her name. I like the way that wrote about him in the book. I thought he was more of a villain in the books than he was
The
on
insignificant author.
Yeah. That's the word. But
she that shall not be named.
Exactly. The tables have turned now. Like I think he did a great job. Ralph Fiennes, he did a great job as Voldemort in the the movies and the series and stuff. And I thought it was great, but he doesn't have that, like the other
menace.
Yeah.
Can I butt
Well,
in real
I
quick?
think that this.
Okay.
Nothing against the actor himself because I thought he played him really well, but I think they just tried to make him too pretty.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And I don't just mean appearance wise, I just mean like completely because he really was vile in the books. And I know you have him as your honorable mention, and I don't have any honorable mentions, but just verbally, I would put Bellatrix right up there with him because she was like an acolyte that was completely unhinged. She would go further than he would because she didn't have the fear that he did.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, his fear was of dying. She did not even fear that. So like the two of them.
I think Voldemort feared two people. It was Dumbledore and dying. Those are the only two that were he was afraid of.
Well,
Bellatrix,
I think he feared Dumbledore because Dumbledore was the only one that knew what he had done.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Bellatrix feared Voldemort, but Voldemort feared death. I was going to say,
she didn't fear him. She loved him. She would have.
But she was in charge, though. She
was his lieutenant.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But but she would have. She was fervently, and I say in love, but not in like a romantic way, as in like a god and their number one acolyte. Kind of thing.
I will say this: they definitely tried to make him not prettier, but lighter, like so that kids can go see this movie.
Voldemort light.
Yeah,
Diet Voldemort
light. Okay, you got it.
It was. He was in the movies. He was, and you can see it in the later movies. And the way he walked and the way he acted in the movies and stuff like that. That's not the way I got that feel from the book.
Yeah,
the book that man was a stone cold murderer.
Too regal. It was too regal.
Like, very elegant.
He was not regal.
He was elegant.
He was like that wizard that was always hunched over, and like he would like. I always picture like when he would walk, it was like that old trope where you didn't see the legs moving, you just see the robe and them just gliding forward.
And even with his face, they made it less scary than the book portrayed it to be. And I think that, of course, that they did that because to appeal to a wider audience. But I do feel like this actor, is it Ray Fiennes?
Ralph Fiennes.
I think he pronounces it Ray, right? But anyway, I think he would have gone all in had he been given the opportunity.
Fair enough.
But Helena Bonham Carter went all in regardless. So
she does everything she does. She's a fantastic.
That's what she does.
Yeah.
So this was one of my honorable mentions, and the other honorable mention I had was Neo, Agent Smith. I'm sorry, I love the Matrix.
Hello, Mr.
Love the Matrix.
Hugo Weaving is amazing.
Mr. Anderson.
And that's what I love. I love whenever I hear and I see something Anderson. I have vendors that send stuff in, and if I see Anderson, I go, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, there's a
and everybody knows
what
you're talking about
that name, and every time I have to talk to him, I'll be like,
everybody knows who the villain is. You know that. Agent Smith. This man in the first one, I thought he was one of the best villains in a way. And part 2 and 3, they kind of made him a little cheesier with some of the way they did the graphics and stuff. Great fight scenes with him and, Keanu Reeves. I thought they did a great job. That's why he's an honorable mention, not, one of my main guys, but definitely a fantastic actor.
Jay,
those were great picks.
Thank you.
That's a great pick as well, Kaiser Sose.
I don't know how I feel about following that.
You'll be all right.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Novak. I appreciate it.
You've seen my picks.
He was.
Don't gas me up for no reason.
I'm not going to gas you up.
Russ McQuan now is the Red Skull.
We'll see what happens. Kat, lead us
Yes,
in.
darling. If you were with us last weekend, then you know that I chose because there was just so much to choose from that I had to narrow the field down for me. So I decided to focus on DC characters. So they're in no particular order, but I picked one from a film, one from a TV series, and then one from animated. And one of them is kind of like more in the abstract than actually happened, but
Neither here nor there.
neither here nor there. So if you'd like to roll that, which one are you starting with? I guess I'll find out when you put it up on there.
That one.
So for my film choice, this was my choice because nothing is scarier to me than somebody real.
Right?
Not over the top, not super theatrical, not crazy over the top antics, but somebody quiet and methodical and that you would walk by a gajillion times and not notice, but he's the kind of person that will be in your apartment with you and you'll never know.
That did happen.
That is literally what happened. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, fuck you.
Always the quiet ones you got to watch out for.
It is. And he's just so methodical and so understated in his acting. I just thought he was terrifying in that respect. And I really like this version of the Batman that we're getting. This like noir sense where we're focusing more on the detective Batman. And although it still kind of played a little too emo for me, maybe that's just, from his Twilight days, he doesn't know how to get out of that.
To be fair, Batman.
But I did feel that he, as a villain, was pretty great as far as DC's history, DC's film history goes. So that was my pick for that.
Okay.
And he was supposed to be the Riddler, right?
Yes.
All right. Because he did a fantastic job as being the Riddler.
Okay.
We haven't seen a good Riddler on TV yet.
Yeah, we've just seen a lot of campiness, which in and of itself isn't bad. But like I said, these are the kind of villains to me that are the most terrifying and the ones that you do feel like you need somebody like the Batman to fight because it doesn't feel like regular people have any chance against something like this. But yeah, I have to say, I do think that Batman is probably one of the most oversaturated characters out right now, or has been in the last 20, 30 years. We have a lot of Batman content out of there. But this, yes, I'll take more of this. This was fantastic.
Jake, that's a great point. Best bad guys think they are good guys.
Very true.
That is true.
Yep.
Well, they think they're the hero in their own story.
Would be
Right?
Riddler.
Yeah. Yeah. You were so right. The
Thank
son.
you.
I remember that. The son of the rich dude.
I've blocked that movie out. I've forgotten everything about it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know I watched it. I don't remember.
I know I watched it too.
I saw it in the movie theater and I was just like, why?
But you know what made it even worse is that I only speaking for myself. I was kind of excited about this. I was like, "Ooh, Cowboys versus aliens!"
I was excited because it was
Harrison
Harrison Ford, Daniel Craig. Like, come on, how bad can it be?
Oh, it was
pretty
bad.
bad.
It was bad. That's why he ran
bad.
back to Bond. Anyway, and don't get me wrong, I love him as Bond, but come on.
And Harrison was like,
well, like they're all really good in other things, and then they came together for this.
And it was
this is one of those movies where like they all needed a pool or like a surgery or something. Like they all needed like a paycheck.
Yeah,
for something specific.
They wanted a check.
They needed a boat. So next is going to be from the TV show. And I don't care what anybody says, he was fantastic. I loved everything about him and every freaking episode that he was in, how he went from a villain to a good guy. Florida.
Yeah.
And how he made the ultimate sacrifice and was always like, I don't know how to say it. He didn't play it serious, but he also didn't go into camp. He just found this like perfect line of humor and not taking himself seriously while also being very dangerous. So I loved him. Captain Cold, for anyone that doesn't know, and he was in the Arrowverse, the WB Arrowverse.
Thank you.
And he was also, Novak is saying it, he was also great in Prison Break.
Yes.
and he was fantastic
Yes.
in
yes.
Prison Break. Absolutely love that show.
I actually
Wentworth Miller, I think is his name.
I believe
Yes.
so.
Yeah,
We saw this.
And I haven't
fantastic
seen
actor.
him be bad in anything, but I really, really loved. He was a highlight for me from when he was on The Flash, and then when he was on
What was
Heroes
his
of
character's name on
Tomorrow?
The Flash? It was Leonard Snart.
yeah.
Snart. Yes,
Yeah,
Snart.
Snart. But I always joked whenever I heard his name on screen. I was like, oh, it's Snarky, because the way he did his
Yeah,
lines,
he was very
he had that
snarky.
little
Yep.
sarcastic snark
Fantastic.
to it. Yeah, and it was great. It was perfect in every scene he was in.
When he sacrificed himself, he did so great, but at the same time, I was like, they are so stupid for letting this man go.
Mhm.
He is the highlight of, and now I can't even remember. I keep on wanting to say Legend of Superheroes, but that's a comic
Legends
book
of
shop I go
Tomorrow.
to.
Legends
Yeah.
of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. Thank
Legends
you.
of Tomorrow.
I don't know why I was thinking Heroes of
I
Tomorrow.
was like, I kept on thinking Legends of again. That's my local comic
Legends
book
of the
shop.
Hidden
Shout
Temple.
out.
I am still upset that Legends of Tomorrow got canceled. I understand why it was 7 years, a little long in the tooth, but Donald
It's the best of all
Faison was
they
being
had.
brought in as Booster Gold, and that's how they end the damn series. And I don't get Donald Faison as Booster Gold. I'm upset. That pissed me off.
I'm mad
Don't
that
blame you.
Legends of the Hidden
But
Temple had more
To
winners.
me, it was the best of the WB shows.
Those kids were
Legends of
stupid.
Tomorrow, even though I couldn't remember its name.
I so
Okay.
hate you, man.
So finally, for my animated choice, it is someone that I would love to see come to the screen, but I don't think will happen in my lifetime. And that is my number one, Diana. That's not the one. Well, you can use that one too, but it was the other one.
That's not the one.
Well, this is Blackest Night, but I also had her from Flashpoint because there is no better villain than a bad Diana. I mean, she ripped off Mira's head and took her crown and put it on her own head and then shipped her head to Aquaman.
Damn.
If she decided to go bad, which she has on occasion, through no fault of her own, mind you. Do you don't have them?
I thought I did. I can go grab it real quick. I do apologize.
No, that's okay, because this one's good too. Although this one, she kind of overcomes it herself, and then she's given the pink ring. I actually dressed up like her for Halloween one year.
Nice.
Yeah, I still have the ring. I still have the Black Lantern ring. But it was really the Flashpoint Diana that I was thinking of because she would massacre everything in her path, and there'd just be no stopping her.
And she's had dark scenes or different segments in the comics where she killed Maxwell Lord, where she snapped his neck.
Well, she is kind of famous for this one line when she's talking to Superman and Batman, and she says, "There's a reason why I don't have a long list of villains, you know, after me, like a long list of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a problem, I take care of that problem." But here she is with Mira's head because she was messing with Aquaman, and any iteration in which she is nothing but the all good, all loving Diana that we know and love. She is a force to be reckoned with, and I would never, ever, ever want to be on the end of that sword, on the opposite end of that sword.
What was the? It's the Secret Society or something from the other universe that she's also part of. I can't remember her name in that one. Ultra Woman. Another badass version of her.
Ultra Woman.
Yeah, Ultra Woman. Another badass version of her in that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, these I don't have any honorable mentions because I thought it was all going to be in one episode, and I already had 2 honorable mentions for the bat side. And I was trying to keep it condensed, but these are my choices. Thank you so much for bearing with me, and we can move on to Mayhem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. I'll try to go through mine very quickly, as we only have like 6 minutes left. Technically, we got this.
Take your time. Take your time.
So
we're definitely going over.
So the first one comes from a movie I didn't expect to be so amazingly good, to a point where I wanted the hero to win, and he didn't at all.
God, no, there was no winning at the end of this movie. It was just all bad.
But Javier Bardem was amazing. What am I talking about?
Country for Old Men?
No Country for Old Men. Anton I forgot how to say his last name. I'm not even gonna try. This villain was ridiculous. ridiculously scary because of how realistic a person like him could exist. First of all, he was killing people with the air pressure gun. I think they used to stun cows. I'm not saying it's right. I don't want any cow enthusiasts coming after me. I'm just saying that he used the weapon to kill cows, to kill people, to get himself out of certain jams, and it worked effectively. And because he carried with him, there was no evidence. He didn't care, much like the Joker, about per se what was right and wrong. He just cared, kind of like a Destiny and Fate. If you go through Reddit, they go through a whole thing about breaking down his character, and it's amazing to hear, and it's also scary as fuck. If you watch this,
Triton.
I'm sorry.
He's King Triton in The Little Mermaid.
He's King Triton in the Little Mermaid movie.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah,
the smile on his face with all I can be.
But the crazy thing is, in the movie,
Man's got range.
No Country for Old Men. This smile, his mannerism was scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Was like it made everybody uncomfortable. It projected. So I thought this was one of the greatest villains. I think, honestly, a lot of people kind of sleep on if you haven't seen the movie.
I agree, because I actually kind of forgot about this, but now that you have it up there, I remember that last scene with the woman, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it is. I think it's his wife, right?
The main antagonist is his wife. I've got her name too. But yeah. Oh, and the movie's directed in such a way.
You really thought she had a chance. You really did. You like, there was a split second where you're like, oh, maybe there's like a little bit of
hope.
Yeah, human in him still. No.
What was the scene where he was going against what's his face and the phone rang and he killed him in the chair? Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson was in the scene because they contracted Woody Harrelson to bring him in to kill him, and he's like, "You didn't have to do this." The phone rings. He looks at the guy, looks at the phone, poof, kills him. And it's like I remember watching that movie and I jumped. Like it was
these
crazy.
are like the scary villains, the ones that you just can't reason with, the ones that are just. That's like the Terminator.
Oh, he was what was it? Quantum of Solace?
Yes,
I think it was Quantum of Solace. Yeah,
I think he
kept saying "mother" to the woman because she made him what he was.
I agree with you.
So he was Steppenwolf, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
In a way.
Okay.
There was no step rotor there.
I think. Oh, you gotta watch this show. You gotta watch this show for that any. I think he was a great Bond villain. I just don't think the writing was the greatest for him as an actor. My personal opinion. I want to move on.
The shit out of that role.
He did. Let's move forward to my next villain because oh my god, that guy's. So my anime is Light Yagami, and if you don't,
why does he look like the first guy?
It's a trend. It's a trend.
Mayhem only likes a certain style of villain.
He's got a type.
I got a thing for was it brunettes? For browns?
Brunettes with shaggy hair.
If
you're a bad boy with brunette shaggy hair, holler Mayhem.
There are certain
Call
anime.
Him mother.
I would say every now and again there are anime that gets a cult following, and there's certain anime that gets a cult following that's really good. Death Note was it. Now, if you've seen Death Note on Netflix, that was trash. Either iteration. I think there's something on YouTube which isn't that great either. You have to watch the anime. It is an amazing, grip you by your pants. You're not going anywhere. This guy became a quote unquote god, a dealer of death because of a book and because of how smart he was. And he became so great as a villain. You kind of reasoned with him. That's me pressing the volume button while also trying to screenshot. Don't worry about that. Thank you.
Well-oiled machine here.
He became such a great villain that, much like what Tom said earlier, I became the reason with like, yeah, kill all those people, not really thinking about the inhumane, immoral thing that he was doing. And then they hired his counterpart, his rival, to come get him. And what he does from there is pure villainy.
The way he wrote that last scene of the anime, the way he wrote that.
Of the first arc, first season, yeah.
I was like,
but it's funny because like the second arc on how he died was so unlike him, but it made sense to me. It is one of those, like, you grow fond of the characters. Good luck. This is all I gotta say. This is an anime thing. This is one of those big cult classics. If you don't know about it, put it on your watch list. It is very graphic and it's very dark. So if you're sensitive to that, don't do it. Just read the reviews or whatever. All right. This was amazing. I want to move forward because I got like 25 something seconds. Come on, son.
Yes. Wait,
Come
I thought we
on.
were picking popular ones.
Yeah, we weren't picking popular villains, Mayhem.
First of all, he wasn't popular.
What the?
Hands down, one of my favorite villains in the entire Marvel universe.
Oh, hear me out. Shuri was popular for what she did to Black Panther 2. I knew you guys would break. And I put this purposely.
You know what? Chill, Pinocchio, before you break your screen.
Okay.
No hate
anyway,
here,
I knew
though,
you
'cause
guys would break. So anyway,
Yeah,
I did it for the culture. Honestly, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. If I don't think anybody can say Killmonger on screen cinematically was not a great villain. All right, and if you are, you're
He
lying.
was even a great villain in Wakanda Forever, and he was only in it for like
20 seconds, 30 seconds, yeah, whatever. Right. Listen, this guy had everybody agreeing with him, and he had people divided. Okay. And they learned from Heath, honestly, they learned from what was it, Dark Knight. They didn't give him as much scenes as they did T'Challa because he would have robbed that movie from
He already did.
Chadwick Boseman, excuse me. I was thinking T'Challa. I wanted to say his actual name. Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger was an equal. Was amazing as a villain. It wasn't because he was such a badass. It wasn't such he was just like, I don't care about the world, because he made sense to people. He made sense. He had us all divided. He was tactical to an extent. His reasoning, arguable, but he was just that dude. He was that man. And
well, you know, it was one of those, is the good guy really a good guy and is the bad guy really a bad guy?
Right.
Because the things that he was saying, like, you're hoarding this when you could have been helping your people all of this time, and you let them sit there so that you could
out there that look like you and me, but you ain't did nothing for them.
Tom,
right.
he is number one. We do 3, 2, 1, but no problem. He was one of the best 100, and he was definitely, he owned the What If series too. That is correct. If you
I liked when he walked into the room and he looked at Angela Bassett, goes, "What's up, Auntie?"
Yeah, everybody loves that. That was improv.
Such a good line. Such a good line. Because he wanted to be like, yeah, I'm the cool little nephew that you all didn't care about, but fuck you. Like, that's what he did right there.
Oh, he definitely said fuck you a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
Without saying it throughout that movie.
Yes.
So I think this was a good example of Chadwick Boseman or T'Challa being the Black Panther political party and Killmonger being the Black Panther self-defense club
fair
from
enough.
the 60s. And if y'all know the significance of that, we're getting two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
And I think that's another reason why it made him so good. But he in this role,
amazing.
No one could have done what he did with it.
I gotta look up and see if he won awards, because he should have won numerous awards.
And they also campaigned so hard to bring him back and make him the Black Panther. They wanted to have that hero's journey for him. That's how much they connected with this villain, and he was an amazing villain. Cutthroat, let his girl did not care.
I'll also say, if you watch that movie again and you listen to the music by Ludwig van Husset, I think is his name, he has a great theme song. The only other theme song I thought was just as good, not as great, was what's his name? Black Manta. There you go. But this man's theme song was amazing. Listen to it, because I listened to the album.
I really like the one from the uncle from Miles Morales' uncle.
Prowler?
The Prowler, the reverse Spider-Man theme.
Is that what that was? Whatever the theme was for the Prowler, his was
pretty dope.
Awesome.
It was a reverse Spider-Man theme. And like down notes.
Wait until you guys watch Across the Multiverse.
I was.
I'm going to on Saturday. I already bought the tickets for $240.
Across the Spider-Verse
picture show in Fall River.
Masterpiece.
I don't know how many kisses I can blow this film. I'm gonna watch it again. But it's got everything that every fan from every committed series has ever asked for.
Mayhem, were you playing the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where every time something was on screen, you're like, oh, You're pointing at the screen.
Yes,
like, oh God,
that's what I'm saying. It has everything that if you wanted, I don't know, features, if you wanted crossovers, if you wanted references, if you wanted it's there.
Easter eggs, everything.
And the crazy thing is the Spider-Man scene where he points at that's the bare minimum. It's funny, it's feel important, but that's the bare minimum. That's not even a tip of the. Anyway, go see the movie.
Spider-Man.
I'm sorry, Andy.
Hey! This one counts as spoilers. So
Andy Samberg playing Scarlet Spider was the best thing I saw.
Oh my God,
loved him.
Wait until we're gonna move forward. Fantastic. We're gonna move forward. My honorable mention I took from Kat, Vincent D'Onofrio. Okay,
can't wait to see him in the next thing.
Listen, never in the history of Kingpin. Never in the history has it been played so elegantly, so humanely, so evilly, just so great until this man graced the scene. Also, you kind of understand how he swindled certain people with his charisma and his manipulative skills, and it also his scary factor too. This man,
but the way he treats his Vanessa.
Oh my God,
Vanessa.
It's so crazy because he'll do a crazy thing and he's like, yeah, that's a villain. And then he talks to Vanessa and like, well, is he a villain or just a man misunderstood? I'm just a man that's misunderstood. And he's just like, oh, this man. And I hope they do him justice in the series to come.
I hope so too.
I don't think they did it so well in Hawkeye. They just established that he was coming back. Okay. Whatever.
I liked his scenes up until the final battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then that final battle was just a little bit too much.
For Salmon Palm Mall. It's 15 minutes away from the venue. Okay, that's
for
all for you, Virgie. I think for
next week for Comic-Con.
Yeah, but which movie?
Across the Spider-Verse, I think it was.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh. Comic books lifestyle. He tells like, okay, yeah. So
I heard Virgie really wants to see that Transformers movie.
I do.
They had
it's actually getting really great reviews. There are a lot of comic websites and a lot of nerd websites that are sitting and going, no, we take it back. This movie's going to be fucking fantastic. They're really saying it. They're not just doing it. They're saying it. They've gotten early views on it, and they say it's fantastic.
They had a big premiere on Flatbush in Brooklyn, so it was pretty big, a big turnout.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's give Vincent his flowers before we go on tangents.
Yeah. Please.
This man arguably is one of the best villains in a series I've seen in a long time. Not in a movie, in a series, in a long time. There's never a time that man was on the screen in whatever episode and he didn't own that shit. Vincent, you are my honorable mention.
And yet this man was asking me for metallic markers.
Oh my God.
I got a photo op with him last year. Such a nice guy. Shook my hand.
Me too.
Such a nice man. Yeah, that's right. You were right there with me.
You're the one that made me go. I wasn't gonna.
I knew how much of a fan you were of him. I am,
but I don't get starstruck, but I don't like pictures of me, period.
Doesn't matter. You're getting that picture, you earned it.
But two, I was just like, I was a little bit starstruck by him. So Bergie made me go. And in the picture, I'm so stiff. I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm just standing there like
internally, fireworks. She was
screaming.
She was
screaming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama.
Externally, shot.
Yep.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it.
Apparently,
she didn't even know his name.
Apparently, my daughter thought this was good enough to give me her pocket.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to be here. Oh, that's a cute little purse.
Thank you. My daughter gave it to me. I think she.
Oh, so that's for your white Bugs Bunny outfit.
Yeah, it is.
You know it. You think I'm gonna shy away from that?
No.
So that was
like on your pinky.
Yes.
Love it.
That was my list. Guys, let us know what your lists were really quickly in the comments below. You can go to our Facebook group. Obviously, check out the merch if you want your own Big Daddy Bergie cup. We got another one coming.
There's also a pillow that has macaroons on it.
Yes. You can eat with him as well as drink with him.
And soon to be coming, I stole this from a baby.
Step rotor.
I still want step rotor. I want step rotor.
Yeah, we need step rotor. What are you doing? And I stole this from a baby. So far, I have escaped unscathed.
Kat, I was sitting at work the other day, and Ian, our artist, Ian Chase, you know him. He comes over to me. He's like, "So I heard you have merchandise." I was like, "Oh, God damn it, Yes,
You have to say it like
you
yogurt.
do.
And he started
You
laughing.
better
He
wear that with
goes,
pride.
"Let me know if they ever make a metal tumbler one." He goes, "Then I must buy one." And I was like,
Woo!
"Oh, great."
You
We
giving
need
the
a
ladies
metal
ideas.
tumbler of Virgie.
Oh, thanks, yeah, Rich,
Yes.
thanks.
I really
Got you.
want like button pins so that I can buy them in bulk and just hand them out at conventions.
And ladies and gentlemen, there we go.
Well,
With the
That's
VIP
it.
bags, you know?
I think that would be amazing. Really quick, last thoughts about villains. I'll go with Virgie. I'll go with Reggie first since you started us off. What did you think about the best villains? Go.
The best villains, we all had very good picks. And even though we weren't supposed to pick popular ones, which
The onesies with
We all
Virgie's
did.
face on it.
There better not be a onesie with Bergie's face on it.
I mean,
Why
let's
not?
let's focus on the topic.
Just on the butt.
Dear God, no.
the villains were good. We all had good picks.
No, I'm sorry.